What's up, guys? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna let this clip loop. What's up, guys? Let me know if you can hear me when you get a chance. I'm just gonna let this clip loop so the streaming software detects the video. I'm not sure if people were looking forward to this stream or not. If A, if you wanted to hear me break down the video, and B, if you wanted to actually see what teams were doing coverage-wise against the Ravens, because it is somewhat simplistic the way that I'm going to present it. I think it's a little more complicated, than the way I'm going to present it. Ravens and E-Crown, what's up, guys? Thank you. I know the audio is probably a little, I don't know what the word is, but I'm in like an enclosed area, so it's not very, I don't think it's very high quality. It's not soundproof walls or anything like that. Kwame, what's up? Thank you for joining the stream. I'm going to let this run for a moment. To be honest with you, maybe I'll let it run through one more time. I think I probably need to start doing a countdown for the stream. Like I see Sip to Tally does a countdown for his. Maybe like a 3-minute or 2-minute countdown before I start. So that way it's not just me hanging out for the first 3 or 4 minutes and wasting you guys' time. This is going to cover coverages that the Ravens saw in 2021, specifically against 4-3 teams. Now, you may say, well, the Bengals are multiple, and they are. That's absolutely correct. The Bengals utilize the 4-3, the 3-4. They play a lot of nickel. So, throwing them in here may seem a little off. I don't believe that it is. I think they used a blueprint that the Bills had kind of laid out in the playoff game in 2020. And I hope you watched that video. And if you have not, I will recap it here in the beginning once we get started. These plays are going to loop through one more time. If you've watched any of my videos breaking down the Bengals defense, I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. You can see they're in a 4-3 structure right here with 3 inside linebackers, 57, 55, and 59. Hubbard and Hendrickson are very multiple. They can stand up in a 2-point stance like Hendrickson is here, or they can be in a 3-point or 4-point. Some people call it 3.5. Hubbard's hand is like really close to the ground. I don't know if you can see the annotation that I'm drawing there. Hubbard's hand's really close to the ground, so some people call that a 3.5 stance, meaning his second hand is almost on the ground, so he's almost in a 4-point stance. Some people like the angle that creates, but in any case, they're a 4-3 team against us, at least in Week 7. When we faced them up there in Cincinnati, they were in a lot of nickel because we were in a lot of 11 personnel. I don't think Ricard was healthy for that Cincinnati game, that return game up there. So I think they were in a whole lot more nickel because we didn't have a fullback on the field. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Did you guys watch the game that I showed, the film that I showed of the Bills game from 2020, where I laid out the coverage principles that they used? I don't really want to revisit that film here. I want to show how similar what the Bills did in the playoff game in 2020 was to what the Bengals did in this game right here. That's what I really want to do. And then I want to show the Vikings game, some coverages from the Vikings game. A week later, a week after the Bengals game, I believe, if I have my weeks correct. If you'd watched the Bills video, you know that I said that they're going to be in a too-high structure until we get to around about the 40-yard line. Somewhere between the 40 and the 35 is where they're going to decide to no longer play the same exact look. Generally, we're getting quarters split field coverages from the -20 to the +35, and I'll explain that in a moment. This is a great throw right here. This is one of the points I'm going to make. Obviously, amazing catch by Mark Andrews. Lamar put it in, really, I think, the only spot where he could have caught it because of the coverage. The very next play, which is the first play of the second quarter, so the field is flipped. This actually is the very next play. The very next play, they come with a nickel personnel now, and they bring 2 edge blitzers. It's like once we reach this, and now we're on the 26, but once we reach somewhere in this area here, the Bills and Bengals both decided to bring pressure and basically get the ball out of Lamar's hands quick. It's just classic fundamental defense playing it, depending on field, and then down in distance obviously as well. But that's first down right there. That's 1st and 10, the very next play. And they're bringing heat, and I don't think we do a great job with Andrews. Really, to be honest with you, I don't think Andrews does a great job. He brings this route in and then out. I think he's got around it a little sooner to give Lamar the opportunity to get him this ball. I think that's one thing we did not do well. I do not think we ran hot routes very well. You guys let me know what you think. Are you guys still catching the audio? Once this resets one more time, I'm going to go over the principles that are laid out in detail, so I will cover this again. But you can see sticks blitz 0 on, I believe, 3rd down now. Same spot on the field, same drive, and they just get pressure, force Lamar to get rid of the ball quick. And again, it's going to be incomplete to Andrews out here. I think that there's times where we're not cutting our routes off. And there's times where we're very good at it, but not against blitz zeros. 3rd down, as you can see up there. This incomplete pass. What's up, Iron? You can see all the guys that are threatening to blitz. Usually the guy that is free rusher against us is that D end off the right edge, right? You remember the Dolphins game, it was that D end the whole time. This time it's going to be Von Bell through the B gap on the backside. We actually going to block Hubbard this time. I agree, Deuce. What's up, man, by the way? Thank you for joining. I agree. Our coaches have to have a better plan. B, we have to do a better job at receiver of recognizing the situation and not letting, let me restart that. At receiver, we have to do a better job of making ourselves available, and that's all of them. Andrews, Brown especially. I never hardly ever saw him cut off on a hot route. Bateman did, and Watkins certainly did. And if the stream goes on long enough, I'll be able to show you 3 examples of Watkins cutting his route off short against the Broncos against that same blitz 0 or a very similar blitz. But I thought Brown and Andrews were the guys who executed a hot route the least amount of times. And I'm not saying that well. I didn't anticipate making that point, but it is true. Those 2 guys did not, they did not recognize hot route situations as much as you would think they would have. Especially the offense that both of them played in college was more of a spread offense. You would have thought that would have been something that would be very natural to them. I'm going to lay out the principles that I talked about in the Bills video. So a 4-3 with 2 safeties and quarters or split field coverages. All right. So that is principle number 1 that I laid out in that video on the Bills. That is principle number 1. Principle number 2 is, and they're playing that coverage from the -20 to the +35, something like that. So you can see right here where we are on the field right now, the ball's on the 27. And they got a too high safety structure, and the corners are generally soft. I know Eli Apple's a little closer here. That's what we got from the Bills and the Bengals, and to a lesser extent also from the Vikings the very next week. The Vikings played some similar stuff. They're just not as talented defensively as the Bengals. Second principle is a 6-1 look, and still with quarters, split field coverage, and usually that would happen around the +40 to the +35. What that means is, if you're unfamiliar with that terminology, what that means is once we reach their side of the 50 and we get to about the 40-yard line or the 35, They would bring pressure. Why? They want to get the ball out of Lamar's hands. That was principle number 2 that I laid out. In the first video about the Bills that I think I put out on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. Hopefully you guys watched it. And then principle number 3, which should be obvious, is third downs is sticks blitz 0. Get the ball out of Lamar's hands. If you watch that Bills video, my comparison, which I always use basketball comparisons, my comparison was like basketball. If you've got a great player like a Steph Curry or a LeBron or a KD, and they run screen and roll, pick and roll, trap them to force the ball out of their hands. I'm not saying that would work against those guys. My point is that's what the defense is trying to do with Lamar in this situation here. And to a lesser extent, also principle number 2. Okay? So hopefully you guys understand the points that I'm trying to make now. If you didn't watch that video, let's go over this here. This is the first drive. They're in 2 high structure. First play, I believe, of the game. And you've got an off corner up here. Lamar's attacking him, but you see these corners have their eyes in the backfield looking at Lamar. So when he's, loading up the grenade, getting ready to throw it, they can see that happening. It's going to be a speed out by Bateman to the top side. Lamar's throws a little bit off, I think. And you can see this corner's already breaking on it. The sideline's reaction is they think they're getting ready to get a pick because you can see how excited they were jumping up and down. We have to be able to attack this soft coverage. Some Bengals fans got triggered when I said the word soft in a couple of breakdowns after that game, and they thought I was saying soft in terms of not physical. Certainly that's not what I meant. I meant soft and off coverage by the corners. Don C., what's up? Deuce, let me read your comment. I just saw it. I mean, I guess he freelances. I can't necessarily speak to that. I just know that there's times where we should run a hot route and we do not. What are the reasons they're playing this coverage? Why are they playing quarters? There's a lot of people, I won't name names, but they say, teams get an 8-man front against us. That's not true. They did not. Teams get in a 9-man front against us. And you might be like, well, coach, this isn't a 9-man front. Defensive coordinators believe that it is. You can disagree with them if you wish. That's fine. They believe that this safety and this safety can get involved in the run game immediately. Why? Because they're playing quarters. Because they have their eyes. Now Jesse Bates could certainly be looking at Lamar. He could certainly be. He could also be reading the end man on the line of scrimmage for run pass. So if he gets a reach block like this, trying to get to the outside of Hendrickson, that's a run block. So Jesse Bates would be in his pedal, a slow pedal, and then he'd probably fill outside of Hendrickson to be the force player and let this inside linebacker fill to the inside. Hopefully I'm saying that in a way that makes sense. But over here, he's only got one eligible receiver, which is Rashad Bateman off screen to our right, or to the Ravens' left, our right. Over here, he's got an eligible receiver, even though we know Lamar's not throwing the ball to him. So Von Bell is clearly reading this tight end here, and I think Jesse Bates is probably looking at Lamar. Why are they doing that? They're doing that so that they can defend the pass and defend the run quickly because they see it. That's just fundamental football. They're not looking at the receiver because, again, they're playing quarters. They're playing zone. I think this is 3 plays later after Lamar has scrambled for a first down. I may be wrong. You can see the ball's on the 30. And what coverage do you have? You've got 2 high safeties, 4-3 structure. I don't know if Leslie Frazier, the D coordinator for the Bills in 2020, and Lou, God, I can't say his name, Lou Anamario, I know that's wrong. I don't know if they ever coached together, but it's a very similar scheme, and they even showed the same progression of coverages on each drive. I've covered this play multiple times. One of the rules, if you have the flat, you have the wheel. So Marquise Brown is running the wheel. This corner is, I think has the opportunity for a big play here, and we don't hit it. Marquise Brown catches the ball. He's got him beat, but I think it's out of bounds. Yeah, Don, Ravens, what's up, guys? Okay, third possession, I believe. This is not the same possession. I think this is the third possession. You can see the ball is on the negative 42 or our 42-yard line. What are they in? 2 high safety structure. And just so you know, I didn't omit like a bunch of plays where they're playing different coverages, that would go against the idea or concept of my video. I mean, this is pretty consistent for the Bengals and the and the Bills. Why are they in it? What's another benefit to the two high safety structure? Is it allows these guys to be backside players on run plays. So if run action goes here, then Jesse Bates is he could you can say go slow until you know. He's a fold player. He's a backside alley player. Whatever the terminology is that you want to use. In any case, he's not someone who has to go on run action away. So he's not someone who has to be here in order for them to stop the run. They feel like they can stop the run with these front side guys. So Bates is able to be on the backside. He's able to be more conservative. And we had hit them with this reverse like 3 times prior to week 7 of last year in 2019 and 2020. Actually, we had hit Bates with it, so he learned. You get the end zone angle of it here. So one of the benefits of it, again, is the safeties are able to get involved in a run game. There's not as much pressure on them because they're not directly lined up over a receiver. Now, we're not doing ourselves any favors, clearly, by having Ricard and Tomlinson on the field together. I mean, come on. Like, you got 2 guys that are not weapons at all. You can't have 2 of them on the field at the same time, in my opinion. If Ricard's on the field, we got to have Andrews on the field. If Tomlinson's on the field, Ricard can't be on the field. Hopefully, I'm saying that in a way that makes sense. Let me know if you guys agree with that. Is any of this making sense so far? All right, so Bates is reading the tackle and or the quarterback. You can see he doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't go anywhere. You got the back crossing face. You got what looks like a down block, and then probably trying to wrap here with the center. So a wrap, in case you don't know. So a wrap means he's not wrapping, actually, he's not logging. He's actually working up inside of him. Wow. So we're relying on this D end to chase on the backside, and that's just not happening because the D end gets involved in it, and Bates is there for a tackle for loss. I mean, he played that beautifully. The 2 high safety structure that they're playing, the coverage they're playing, they think allows them to defend everything. They can also play Tampa 2 out of their 4-3 structure, so they're going to get the Mike linebacker go into the high hole in between the hashes, and then these 2 safeties are going to fly out and play deep halves. This corner is going to sit in this flats. This corner is going to sit in this flats. What they're doing is they have eyes on Lamar. They have eyes toward Lamar. So if he was to scramble, they have guys who can pursue. What can't you play against Lamar? You can't play man free. You can't. You can't play it that often. Because if you do, and your back is turned and you're running with people, then he's just going to take off. That's one of the benefits of having a supreme athlete at quarterback, obviously. Taurus, what's up, man? Nice to see you in here. Appreciate it. All right, so this is cover 2. 2nd and 12. Hopefully you guys can see that up there. And it's this is a perfect view of cover 2. You got the deep half safety. You got the Mike, who's, technically cover 2 actually has 3 deep droppers, but that's topic for another day. You can see the delineation or the separation between those 4 guys drop and the Mike. Kind of like a 4-1-2 in soccer. I'm not a soccer person, so I don't know all those formations. But simplistically, let's just say you've got 4 underneath droppers. You got the Mike here. Why are they playing that? They're making us throw the ball short. They don't want to give us the big play. We know we did hit them with the big play, though. Obviously, Lamar, beautiful touchdown pass to Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown, a great catch, back in the back of the end zone on the right side. Ball's approaching, or we just passed midfield. I believe this is still the 3rd drive. I might be wrong. Might be the 4th. And we're in empty. They got a 2 high safety structure. Again, soft corners. Look how far off they are. They're off, but they can defend, little short routes. They can defend an out. Why? Because they're looking at Lamar. They're going to break on it. So the coverage they're playing is just sound. It's just fundamental. They're going to force us to work the ball downfield. 6, 8, 10, 12 play drives instead of, we're just not getting that many 5-play drives anymore. Beautiful throw. I talked about this earlier if you was first in the stream. Oh, thank you, Taurus. I appreciate that coming from you. Thank you. I'm I got two screens up, so it's hard for me to track the comments. So every now and then I'm gonna have to stop and just check out the comment section. I got 6-1 look edge pressure written here. Hopefully you guys are seeing the graphics down there good. It's a nickel group, first of all, because Ricard is not on the field. We got Andrews on the field, though. So Ricard is not on the field. Andrews is, we got 11 personnel. So we've taken our two non-threats off the field. That's a good thing, right? Well, what do the Bengals do? They're going to take out an inside linebacker, and they're going to bring on a DB, so they've got their nickel look, 4-2-5. And what are they going to run? They're going to bring pressure on Lamar, and they're going to make him get rid of the ball quick. Again, conceptually, for me, I'm saying it's like a pick and roll in basketball where they're trapping him. I don't know if any of you guys have a basketball background. I actually really like this route combination. I love this here, the tight X on the backside, running the drag under. I think that's the route that we missed a lot last year. Now, we did hit this route against the Bengals a lot. I'm talking about this route right here. We hit it against the Bengals with Watkins and with Duvernay, I think. Wilson is playing this pretty well. We've high-load him. So we've got the under route with him, with Bateman, and then we've got the deeper route with Andrews. My problem is I feel like Andrews should have cut this off a little shorter, but maybe he's not seeing this. Maybe Andrews isn't seeing this nickel blitz off the edge. I feel like he should, but the guy went outside of him, so maybe he's just not seeing it. I don't know the communication that the Ravens use, how they communicate things. Some systems would have this guy right here make an alert call to the inside receiver to let him know, hey, my guy's walked up. The nickel is walked up and possibly blitzing. So maybe we're not doing those things. And I'm sure there's more complicated ways to make those calls, more advanced ways than I'm aware of. In any case, we didn't take advantage of the coverage. It's there to be made. Tell me what you think. King Judah, what's up, man? A long time no see. Living, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining up. I think this is a third down, guys, and this is the third principle that I would say, and all of these principles, the three principles that I'm talking about, have all been illustrated just in this one sequence here. But again, this is not one possession. This is the first possession, and I believe the third, because I think this is early second quarter, and it's third down, and same situation now. We've got Andrews to the right, and now this time he does cut this off short because it's third and long, though. It's to the Bengals' benefit. Even if this ball is completed, he's going to get tackled short because they're bringing so much pressure. This route, my bad. All right, this little drag route by Duvernay, not everybody, there's a lot of people who are like, why don't we throw underneath? Why don't we throw slants? Occasionally they're open, but the problem is Logan Wilson is dropping out of here. So watch Logan Wilson. Now watch how he would relate to Duvernay's route. If we throw this to Duvernay, it's a pick. And this actually happened to Lamar in 2019 with Logan Wilson. 2020. If you remember, it was at home. Logan Wilson acted like he was going to blitz and then dropped out of there. He dropped back. So we're talking about right here. So that's one of the cool things about Blitz Zero, or sticks, as I call it, as I name it. If we're going to try to throw a slant or something like that, one of these guys is probably dropping out of there. That's what the Dolphins did to us all game. That they took that away from us. We did not have that available. Hopefully I can get to those coverages later on, and you guys can see what I'm saying. You've also got the safety driving on Duvernay's route. So they've really taken away a lot of stuff, but I don't think we've done a good job either. We should not be in a 2x2 set against sticks cover zero. What I mean by 2x2 is this is number one, that's a number two. This is number one, that's the number two. We should be in 3x1. We should be in trips to isolate. So we should motion Duvernay across, and that means this safety is going to have to move over as well. And now we've got all this side of the field for a one-on-one. That's what you do, man. That's what you do when you have a guy like Bateman. You have to go 3x1. It took too damn long for the Ravens to recognize that against the Dolphins. I don't know if you agree or disagree, or you even have knowledge of what I'm talking about. Hopefully I get to show that here in a minute. We waited too long to go 3x1 and attack on the backside. There's nowhere for us to throw the ball, guys. There's nowhere for us to throw the ball. Because the safeties are perfectly aligned. That's the free rusher right there, Von Bell. Tanja, what's up? Thank you for joining the stream. I mean, these throws, these last two to Andrews are not like first of all, the thing that trips me out about certain people is they'll say like, "Oh, that's an inaccurate throw." He's fading away, and he's got two guys, getting ready to hit him. It's not like he's not under absolute pressure and absolute duress. So, like, for the throw to, I'm going to be real with you. I keep. There we go. For the throw to be nearly caught, I mean, yes, it's off target, but it's not a bad throw by Lamar given the circumstances that he's got two guys right in his face. He's not just fading to the side, he's fading back to his right. And again, I'll make a basketball comparison, and some of you will get it and some of you won't. If you ever play basketball, like shooting a stationary shot with nobody in your face, just a regular jump shot or even a set shot is pretty simple. You either have the technique or you don't. But when you fade away, you now kind of change the angle and your aiming point might be different. Well, let's add another layer to that. You're fading away and you got two guys in your face. That's difficult to do. So I'm just one of those people that I look at it realistically. I'm like, is there times where Lamar misses throws? Yeah. Guess what? I just watched the Tom Brady game last night, the 2018 AFC title game. 4 of his first 7 throws were horrible in that game, and they still won that game, if I remember correct. So my point is, like, every quarterback misses throws, and there's a lot of people that, to me, are just unrealistic, and they don't have any football background or sports background, but they've got they're a mouthpiece on major media or ESPN or something like that for whatever reason. All right, we're gonna move on to the Vikings game. I have to put a picture up to block the video for a second. I have my online database that has all these plays in it, and I'd rather not show that. People on my Patreon get to see it, all the time. But in any case, this is a 4-3 structure. This is Barr, number 55, who's currently unsigned free agent, I believe. But this is a 4-3 defense, even though it looks like a 3-4. It's called the underfront. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. Underfront just means take a 4-3 and make it look like a 3-4. That's a simplistic way of saying it. Some people, if you're old school, will call it a slid 50. But again, we've got Ricard and Tomlinson on the field, and we're really limiting ourselves in terms of the threats that are out there. Why can't you see someone's comments? That's weird. YouTube's weird, man. Yeah, James, I definitely agree. Flood certain areas. I'm okay with, some of the stuff we do, to be honest with you. It's just we can't do this necessarily here with Andrews in the backfield. He's just not that guy in terms of a blocker. He's just not. I like the diamond formation, but again, what's the point though? What's the point? Like, I can sit here and criticize things we do, but what's the point? They are saying these safeties can get involved in the run game quick because they have depth. What are they lined up at? How far is this? Are they 11 yards off? Is that 11 yards? 9 yards maybe? 5, 6, 7, 10. I guess 10 yards off. So they're 10 yards off. So they have depth right now, and we're only presenting them 2 receivers. Down here is Brown underneath that 4 or that bracket. So these guys can get involved in a run game. It's not an 8-man front. That's not an 8-man front. A lot of fans would say it's a 7-man front. I'm telling you, a defensive coach, in our minds, we're saying that it's a 9-man front. We're saying that those guys can get involved in the run. Now, some people might say, well, that's not true, Coach. If it's a 9-man front, the safeties would be here. That's not how we think, because we give guys certain reads to look at to identify run pass. Once this safety sees this right here, this down block, he knows this run. He should be flying forward, and he is. King Judah, I agree. More play action, I agree, and bootlegs. I would love to see that. Absolutely. OG, what's up, man? Tanja, yep, definitely. There's too much pressure on him last year. And look, some of these coverages, I'm going to be honest with you, they may not be applicable in 2022 because our O-line is going to be way better. And I mean, even if Ronnie Stanley's not playing for the first 6 weeks, which I kind of hope he doesn't. I kind of hope we ease him back. And even if he's ready by week 3 or 4, let's find out what we got with some of the other guys. Morgan Moses, Patrick McCarry. I'm interested. Daniel Falele, obviously, he might be, a year or 2 away. All right, it's another quarters split field coverage, in my opinion. Where you've got to attack it, you've got to attack the corners. You do. I don't think you're attacking these coverages in here. I just don't. Even though we've seen, against the Bengals, we did see Andrews with that great catch on that second or third down. This is a cool little route by Andrews. I actually have it drawn up incorrectly there. Little play action by Lamar with the running back. That doesn't mean anything for these guys. You can see, they're getting off. So they're getting off because they're reading something. They're not just staring in the backfield. They're reading something. They see pass. Okay, they're getting off. In my opinion, the area to attack this is outside, on the corners. That's where you want to attack it. And another thing, and I'm going to be optimistic here with you guys. I think Isaiah Likely and even Charlie Kolar is going to have a big impact this year if they can block at all. And even Nick Boyle to a lesser extent. But in my opinion, we're going to use Mark Andrews like a receiver more this year than we ever have. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to get into the whole, receiver thing. That's not my deal. I'm looking at the film and just telling you, I think we're going to put Andrews out at receiver a whole lot more often. So you would basically see this formation that you have right here. And so that right there might be Nick Boyle or Charlie Kolar. And then this right here might be Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews. And I even think there could be times where we have both Likely and Andrews out there at receiver. They both have that kind of body. They're big. Like Isaiah Likely's a big dude. He didn't look it in some of the pre-draft stuff, but he damn sure looked big on some of those catches he was making in was it minicamp? Aaron Butler, what a fantastic point. You guys, if you didn't look at Aaron Butler's comment there, what a great point. He said, certain quarterbacks, the commentator will just say, I bet Brady would like to have that one back, or I bet Aaron Rodgers would like to have that one back. I'm actually going to do a video, and I mean, like, how do you criticize Tom Brady? I'm actually going to do a video showing about 10 throws that he, were poor from him. And I mean, like, come on, like, it's Tom Brady. But every quarterback misses throws, dude. Everyone does. Look, let's just get back to the point because I digressed a little bit. Ball's on the -40, and they got 2 high safeties. All right? I think this linebacker here does a great job, if I remember correct. Yeah. Wow. So he had a vertical going past him. What does the quarters coverage let them do? It lets them keep everything in front. You got a deep route covered here. You got a deep route bracketed by 2 safeties there, and this linebacker did a fantastic job. So many of our passes is designed for Andrews. Don't get me wrong, it's effective, but I wish there was routes designed for other people sometimes. This tight end is going vertical, and to me, this is just designed for Andrews to settle, somewhere in that area there and be open. But this guy does a amazing job, and Lamar takes off running. But this is what the defense wants. You're not going to like this. The defense actually wants Lamar scrambling. They do. They want him to run because he demonstrated prior to this game, well, in this game, but prior to the Cincinnati game, he demonstrated that he could kill you with the pass. He did. I think he threw for like 310 yards against the Broncos. Only 1 touchdown, but he threw a second touchdown that was called back by a penalty. The Colts game, clearly he threw the ball well. He was a force of nature in the Chiefs game. Had 3 turnovers or 2 turnovers in the Raiders game. This is a toss pass or a throwback pass. And I think he's got to get rid of this ball a little quicker. And I think it's got to be thrown upfield. I like this play call. I really do. I think this ball needs to be thrown downfield because what's happening is this safety is turning and then he's able to go horizontal, right directly towards the sideline. I think we've got to make that. I don't have much more screen to draw on, but I think that safety's we got to throw it downfield so that safety has to baseball turn and go towards the pylon, which he could do, but that gives him 2 directions he's got to move. He's got to move horizontal and vertical at the same time at an angle, and this ball's underthrown. I think this could have been a touchdown or at least somewhere in this area here, it could have been a 50-50 or 70-30 situation, meaning 70% chance that Bateman was going to catch it. Just a missed opportunity by us. Why did we do it, though? Let me show you. Here's why we did this. I'm sorry I'm not really tracking the chat. That's not intentional. I'm not trying to be rude. I got 2 screens, like I said, and I I got to look over, and once I get running my mouth, it's hard for me to look over. So after this play, I'll try to remember why did we run this play though? For real, like I want you to pay attention to this part. So we're running toss to this side with Freeman, which we never run. So I don't like that. We're showing a fake play that we never run. You know what I mean? Like if we ran toss a lot, then that would be one thing. That would trigger something. Like if I'm this linebacker here and you run toss 5 or 6 times a game, and I see this toss play, I'm taking off. And I'm this corner, I'm taking off because I want to stop that play. And my coach has told me all week, let's stop that play. I don't think you get that reaction for real. Do you think so? Look, Freeman's got the ball in his hands. But let's get back to my point. Brown is running a vertical here and holding this safety. It's cover 2. Bateman is going outside up the sideline. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to hold this safety with Brown's vertical and then free up Bateman. This has either got to be, look, I mean, Lamar's just getting the ball. I'm not blaming Lamar for this. I would like for this to be developed quicker so he could have 2 options. Either hit the hole shot, which is underthrow it intentionally, or throw it downfield for a touchdown. I don't think he did either. I think Lamar that was like an in-between throw. Hopefully that the way I'm saying that is making sense. I'm going to track the chat for a second. I mean, it looks like people were talking about Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton to me looks like he's been physically compromised. There looks to be something throwing with him that's just not there. Almost like a pitcher who's lost his fastball. I really like Cam, especially at 2. How do you not appreciate what he did in 2015? That was an amazing season for Carolina. Big Reg, what's up, man? Thank you for joining. I agree totally. Lamar went into the offseason with a plan to improve despite the O-line. I agree. O-line definitely improved, though, wouldn't you say? Yeah, Torres. What's the guy's name from Miami? I'm forgetting his name. He played with Miami. He hasn't played in like 3 years. I think Sharp or him. I think those 2 guys are going to battle it out for that backup tackle spot, which I think is what you're referring to with David Sharp. This is a situation later on where now they're bringing 6-man pressure. Look where the ball is. They're trying to keep us from getting in field goal range. Now, was this one of the few times where Andrews executes a hot route? Now, it could have been an RPO, though. This could have been the play anyway. You know what I mean? So the back is over here. He's going to cross Lamar's face. But when we get the end zone angle, you'll see how quick Lamar is to pull the ball because he sees these guys blitzing, and he knows Andrews is going to fit right in that space. This could be a hot route, or it could be a route that Andrews changed, or it's just an RPO. Could be either one. I'm going to give Andrews credit here and say that he's adjusting it quickly because he sees the guys blitzing. Unfortunately, from this end zone angle, we don't get the view. We won't be able to tell. But you can see that they're blitzing off the side of the back, and Lamar's already got rid of the ball. This is what he's got to do more of. And I offer to you, and this is where I think football in one way is changing. It used to be like, oh, they're blitzing the nickel, so we're going to hot route it. In my opinion, we need to be running more RPOs. Now, this right here might not be an RPO. It may not be an RPO, but the defense doesn't know that. As we're running the play, they don't know that, okay? We need to do stuff like this more often because watch what it does to Barr. Imagine there's no play fake here. Imagine there's no mesh, to the running back. Where's Barr attacking? If the running back steps to Barr's going to rush the passer. He's going to rush Lamar. This is giving him another thing to think about. He's chasing Freeman, and that just opens that lane all the way up. It's not going to work out like that in every play. It just did. It's fortunate for me in my explanation that it worked out like that. I'm saying to you, we need to do more RPOs because Lamar's really good at them. Andrews is really good at them. Bateman's really good at them. I think we need to do more RPOs. I think we need to double the number of RPOs we did last year. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at Sharp. Correct me if I'm wrong. He played right tackle against the Packers. Was it the Packers? he played some right tackle against? I thought he had some good moments, but I thought he had some bad ones too. But, my memory might be incorrect there because I haven't looked closely. I believe this is a third down. You should not be surprised that we're getting stick split 0. It's not the exact version of sticks that the Dolphins ran, but there's some elements that are the same. And one thing that pissed me off, look, there's no routes being adjusted. Not anyone. Not Andrews, not Brown, Bateman. That's not on Lamar. And I'm going to say I don't even think it's on the coaches. Unless you want to say, why aren't the coaches teaching that to them? Like, I just don't know that you have to be taught this. Especially if it's third down, which I believe it is, and I might be wrong there. No, it's 2nd and 14. It's 2nd and 14, and we've got routes. Okay, I like this one by Bateman. I get it. We're running onto this space. I got it. Same thing up here, Andrews. I got it. I just think sometimes with our play calling, we're too hungry. And what I mean by hungry is it's 2nd and 14 or 2nd and 15, and we want 15 yards. I don't know what's wrong with 8 yards. I just don't. I'm being a little picky here, and we did a horrible job at left guard here. I believe this is the rep that's really bad, but I could be wrong. It might be a different play. No, it is. All right. Maurice, more RPOs. Yeah, I'm not talking about pistol option plays. Well, we need more RPOs. Give the defense something to have to react to. That's bad. Well, okay, you can say what you want, whether we want to be throwing the ball to Ricard or not. But the fact is, he is open if this ball's thrown over here. Lamar's getting stung. Horrible job right here. And I don't mean to be disparaging about any player, certainly not one that's on the Ravens, but this is bad. Lamar had to deal with this all last year. Look, without naming names, 3 of these 4 guys on this offensive line are not starter caliber right now, on this film. Watch what that D tackle did to Powers. That's you can't get much done if this is what your quarterback's got to deal with. That's not a bad job by Tyson Williams. Didn't he get the rep that he couldn't pass block? Look how cool Lamar is, man. He's trying to make this is what people like. If you play sports like, in your community or out in the street or whatever, and you have a dude that plays this hard and is willing to take a shot for you to make a play, like, that's why people like him. 72 is Powers, I believe. I believe it's Powers, right? Look, 3rd down, 2nd down, 14. Sorry, 2nd down, and they're bringing sticks blitz 0. Heavy pressure. Why? Let me speak on that for a second. Why? And I've said this many times in my videos, so hopefully you guys have got the point already. It's not because he can't do something. That's not why they're running this coverage. They're running this coverage because of what he can do. They're running this coverage because he can drop back, find the open man, and deliver the football. He showed that. Through 5 games last year, 1,840 yards or something like that, maybe 1,890. More than 18 teams in the NFL, right? Total yards. What else can he do? If he drops back and nobody's open, he can take off running. So what they're doing is they're filling every gap. Filling the C gap, filling the B gap. They're filling every gap. They're making it impossible for Lamar to scramble. So because of what he can do, that's why they were running stick 0. People got it wrong last year. Like, they're running stick 0 because Lamar can't make quick decisions. I don't want to drop F-bombs on my stream, but get the F out of here. Get out of here. They're running it because of what he can do, because what he's able to do. Boot Camp Brandon, man, appreciate you joining. First time I've ever seen your username in here. Thank you, man. But great point. You're absolutely right. Good block by Tyson Williams. This is 3rd down, very next play. This play does work. I'm not a huge fan of these. We used these, obviously, against the Dolphins, and they did not work. This is a 3 deep, 3 under coverage. So this will be a deep third. This will be a deep third. This will be a deep third. I'm just talking about what coverage is drawn up, not what's happening on the actual play. And then this will be your 3 underneath droppers. It's called a zone blitz, 3 deep, 3 under. All right. But it looks like it could be man free. It looks like it could be cover 3 pre-snap. So they're trying to disguise it a little bit. Aaron Butler, great point. Another one, man. I mean, the play works out. We get Andrews out here on the edge doing a good job. I don't think we're going to make our living against these coverages with those plays. I just don't. Do I think that we need to run these plays? I'm sure. Obviously, Lamar is checking to it. You can see that he's come up and communicated it. Also, you can watch some. You have to, there's how many fans can fit in a Ravens stadium? It's a lot, right? Lamar's saying something. Andrews' helmet turned, Prochet's helmet turned, and then they turned to Brown. So they communicated something to each other. You have to do that. It's called echo the call. You echo the call once you hear it to make sure that your teammates have the call. Great play, great job by Brown getting the first down. Great job by, Prochet. Prochet's one of them guys. To be real, Prochet was one of them guys when we first had him. I said, I don't think he's going to be able to block. That was me. I was wrong. He gives a lot of effort blocking. I think he does a better job than I gave him credit for. So give credit to those guys, and a good check by Lamar. Taurus, I don't know what Powers was doing on that play, man. Boot camp Brandon, great points because of what the line can't do. Yeah, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. But no one can block. If there's 7 rushers and only 5 linemen and a running back, no one can block that. But no, you're not wrong. No, they weren't rushing 7. They were typically rushing 5 or maybe 6 and 1 or 2 guys dropping out. But absolutely great point. Tanja, totally right. Lamar was hurt. Lamar was hurt early in the season. You are absolutely right. A lot of us said that in the streams and in videos. So great memory. We're gonna be down inside the red zone here, and watch what they do to try to constrict. We know that's Andrews right there. Okay, that's Andrews. What does Andrews run when he's on the right side? He runs an over like that. Sometimes he takes it on that angle. He had touchdowns on this one here against Green Bay. He had touchdown against the Chargers at home. Remember, Derwin James got beat? Well, the other safety didn't help him out. Sometimes he'll run and he'll settle in the middle of the field. All right. What the routes we don't see a lot of out of Andrews when he's lined up there, we don't see a lot of this. We did see some in the Cincinnati game, and both of them was incomplete, right? Watch the coverage that the Vikings play. They're trying to constrict the middle of the field. They're trying to cover that box right there and overwhelm it numerically so that Andrews can't get open. Look at the attention that look at this. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool job by them. Now, the thing that I do like about it is we've got Bateman running this under, and Bateman's so sure-handed. Bateman is I've continued to make this basketball comparisons. If y'all don't like them, tell me. I'll try to stop. Bateman is like that guy that no one wants to guard on the playground because he's got 6 or 7 moves, and he's just got too many moves, and you can't guard him. I love the design of this. We're using Andrews as bait, and they took the bait. They overwhelmed the middle of the field in between the hashes, and then we ran Bateman on the under, makes the catch, turns it upfield. Easy, simple, right? I think I gave you the end zone angle here. You'll see how easy this is. No, I didn't give you the end zone, but you would agree how easy that is for us to execute. Boot camp, Brandon. That's a cool point. I can't wait to see Prochet get an opportunity. Me personally, I wouldn't mind if a guy like Will Fuller or Julio Jones was brought in, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I want Prochet to get opportunity. I do. I think he's driven. I've said this in videos before. He's not motivated. He's driven. And I firmly believe that when you're driven, things in front of you get destroyed. I stole that quote from David Goggins. I didn't make it up myself. He's driven. I want to see him get his opportunity. Last one, I believe, for the Vikings. This is Duvernay's touchdown. It's a great throw. I call it fifths. I'll briefly break it down. But you've got basically they're dividing. They're dividing this line, if I can get this to draw, they're dividing this line into fifths. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, on the goal line. But why? Why aren't they playing man? Because you can't. Because of what this guy can do. You can't play man with a 4-man rush. It's just too many running lanes. He could break it and run it outside. He could find a seam up the middle and then score a touch. He can find the hole. But so they're playing a zone coverage. I call it fifths. We used to play sixths. Forgive me that I can't say that properly. But in any case, you got a great throw to Duvernay. He had to negotiate the safety and the linebacker. King Judah, I like both of them. I don't know what you think. I like both Prochet and Wallace. I thought Wallace showed a little bit last year in the limited opportunities that he got. So this is beautiful, man. This is going to be the last play that I show from the Vikings game. Then we'll move on. Would you guys rather me move on to the Dolphins or the Broncos game? I got both ready to go. J Mill, man, what's up? Thank you for joining. Yeah, super easy reads. I understand what you're saying, and I understand you're not saying that to be disrespectful towards him. But you're absolutely right. Like, let's use Andrews as bait and then get other people open because of him. If we want to continue to be predictable with Andrews' routes, that's fine. Then use other guys to complement his route. I think we're on the same page. June on. First of all, I probably did not say your name right, but second of all, you're right. You can't teach heart. I can't wait to see Prochet play football. All right, so let's talk about this play. I've covered it a couple times. There's a safety off screen here. That safety and this linebacker are dealing with Andrews. Then Lamar sees that. He was looking over here initially, so he sees that. He knows I'm going to Duvernay's route. This is exactly what we're talking about. Using another player and that player's route and skills off of Andrews. So this is a beautiful throw, man. This didn't get that much attention, and certainly didn't get much attention from the people who are anti-Lamar. He's got this linebacker to deal with, but it looks like, okay, you've got a lot of space up here. It looks like that, but there's a safety off screen here. He can't throw this ball to this side for two reasons at least. So he's got to throw it on the back side. There's people that really don't know sports and don't understand angles that would say this ball was thrown on the wrong side. He couldn't throw it on this side. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever heard somebody say, "Oh, that ball's thrown behind him"? He threw it behind him intentionally, you dummy. He threw it behind him on purpose. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree. Like, there's 2 or 3 throws from last year that people have talked about. Not Ravens content creators, but other people, where they're like, "Oh, this ball's thrown on the wrong side." This is thrown on the perfect spot. It's thrown in the only spot he can complete the damn thing, if you ask me. Duvernay makes an unbelievable catch. I can't believe people can't say Duvernay can't play. Like, he can play. All right, so Dolphins video it is. I've done this one many times. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little bored with it. My bad. Oh, Kwame, what did I say? I don't even know what I said with this Baltimore lingo. Yeah, 87. I mean, yeah, I've got a video coming out on Max Crosby later today that'll talk about that Madden stuff a little bit, and I make a comparison. I'm not going to throw the comparison out there now. It will be funny, but I'm not going to do it. You can watch that Max Crosby video. Just watch the first 3 minutes, and you'll get the comparison. This is the Dolphins game. Early in the game, we can all run down Sammy Watkins if we want. No problem. In my opinion, you're not going to beat this sticks coverage with dink and dunk screens. You got to beat them. You got to beat them downfield. But they are giving you space. You know what I mean? Like, look at, if we were to color out all these dudes here, all you have is these two here. There's so much space. They're giving us the space. You got to make them pay. We just made a tactical mistake with all them screens to Marquise Brown. We made a tactical mistake. They put pressure on us, and look, fading away, guy getting ready to hit him in the back, and he's willing to take that hit. How can people not like Lamar Jackson? Like, what the hell is wrong with you that you don't like a guy who will take the hit to try to make, give his teammate an opportunity to make the play? Of course, we don't make the play. All right, whatever. He doesn't make the play. But we're not going to be – and they changed this a little bit, but early in the game, this was what's called a flat-footed read. He's not getting off. Like, he's not getting vertical. He's cheating. He's looking in the backfield the whole time. We have to use that against him. We're going to see this coverage in week 1. Week 1 or 2, excuse me. We get the Dolphins in week 2, right? McDiamond, what's up, man? Thank you for joining. Here's the impact of Ricard being on the field sometimes. They got no respect for him. if we go back to the all 22, you've got a safety and a corner and a corner. Where's the other safety? Where is he at? He's up here on the line because they know they can guard Ricard with a linebacker. So they've walked another safety up. They're ensuring that they're going to get heat on Lamar. Like I think it was Jay Mill or somebody said earlier, they did this because they knew they could attack our O-line, no doubt. Yeah, if you want to talk surface level, like Watkins should catch that ball, he should make, yes, but move on. Like, yes, that's obvious. That's the surface level point. That's the easy point. To me, the larger point is Lamar's willing to take shots, downfield. Let's let him. Against this coverage, they're opening themselves up to it. Not that these screens didn't work sometimes. I get it. But it's just not the way. We're late on this too, by the way. This ball's got to be out. I think the motion, we didn't use this a lot. All right? This ball's got to be snapped now. Because we're not trying to allow this guy to get over here and then attack at an inside-out angle. We want a 3-on-2. We want 1, 2, and then Brown, the ball carrier, on. We want 3-on-2 or 3-on-2.5. We don't want this guy to get over there. This is snapped too late. I don't know whose fault that is, the center, Lamar's, whatever. But I'd call this 3-on-2.5. This guy's not there yet, but he's getting there. You want more yards than that on 3rd and 9. I just don't think that's our call. Melon Farmers, what's up, man? I've never seen your username. It's kind of cool, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I rant, and I just identified him as someone who was worth rooting for quickly. Okay, so if you don't know this already about Sticks Blitz 0, they're going to take their nickel, and they're going to put him on the side of the running back. So watch what happens when Le'Veon Bell moves to the other side. So they feel like numbers-wise, they're always going to be in position. Is this the guy that we have now, or is it a different guy? Is that the dude that's on our roster right now, Beagle? I don't think it's the same guy, but I might be wrong. But in any case, they're going to assign a safety to the running back, and that's how they're going to cover it. It is cover 0, but it's a different version of cover 0. Another way we try to attack it is sprint out, so you can see everybody's moving this way. And we're giving Lamar an opportunity to throw an out. I think you got interference here, but I'm not sure if that's the same play. But what are they doing? Making us get rid of the ball quick. Getting the ball out of our playmakers' hands. And I just do not think that this is what's going to get them out of that coverage. We want to get them out of that coverage. Why? We don't want our quarterback to get hit so much. We don't want them in this coverage. We want to get them out of this coverage. Mesh is something that we don't run great. This is another thing we try to do to attack it. I know that we're not talking about quarters anymore. Let me make one point. The Dolphins are not a 4-3 team. They didn't play a ton of quarters. I don't feel like 3-4 defenses lends itself to quarters as well. You only have 2 inside linebackers to help out with the coverage. That's just one of my opinions. I know that people disagree with me. It's a mesh concept. We missed this route all year long. The backside drag, we did not do a good job. As coaches, as Lamar, we did not do a good job. But having said that, look at what they're doing. They've got 2 guys dropping out. If Lamar's throwing this ball, it's going to have to be thrown out here to get away from this defender. What does he need for that to happen? Time. He needs time. And we're not getting time. Oh, Aaron Butler, I agree, man. He's a high percentage completion guy. So let me make one point about Sticks Blitz 0. It's not that simple as some of the ways I'm trying to say it at times, to be honest with you. You got this guy dropping out. He doesn't get that far wide, and this guy dropping out. So they, being the Dolphins and the defense, they feel like they can cover some of these underneath routes if we throw them. If we throw to Watkins here, they feel like this guy's going to be in the window. If we throw to Brown here, they feel like this guy's going to be in the window. In my opinion, this is on Lamar. Don't get mad at me. You should be able to tell by now that I'm a huge Lamar fan. But when they're lined up in this, and this is late in the game, I feel like I can see that this is at least third quarter. When they're lined up in this, he's got to know that these guys are going to get off. They're going to get off with any kind of vertical. To me, he's got to know this is the route to throw, and I'm going to throw this out here late. And it might even be a lofted throw. I'm being a little picky, but I feel like he's got to know that this is where the ball is going to be thrown, because this stuff down here is not going to be available unless we're running verticals. We beat them on verticals later. Uh, yeah, you can sit here and you can say, oh, he's wide open. Yeah, but Lamar's getting hit by two guys. He's going to have to throw the ball now. Maybe a split second after now. I'm a little early. He's going to have to throw the ball at least by now if he wants to throw it to Marquise Brown out here. I know he's looking to the other side of the field, but when we see that coverage, there's got to be a level of, okay, I've seen this coverage before. I know what route's going to be open based on what we call. We hadn't seen that route a lot. We hadn't seen that coverage a ton, not like this. We didn't see it 37 times in one game. We saw it against the Broncos some. We saw it against the Bengals. The Bills ran it some in 2020 in the playoff games. I haven't tracked the chat in a while, guys, so sorry. I'm going to let this play run, then I'll come back and talk about it. John Weaver, yeah, it's I'm in an enclosed space, so that could be the issue. Give me a second. I'll adjust it. When I live stream, I'm generally live streaming from a different location because my internet at home sucks. So that's why. You think the numbers should be closer together for the noise gate, John? Because it sounds like you know something about it. This is a good play. This is a really good play call. But there's a design flaw. Number 8 is responsible for the running back. I talked about that 2 or 3 plays ago. We're going to flare him to the opposite side of the field. So number 8's going to have to run all the way across the field. So this is a good play call. I like it. But what I don't like is none of these 3 guys are blocking at all. These 2 and number 8 are all going to be there to tackle Freeman. They're all going to be there because we don't block a damn soul. This is a design play on 3rd down to get the ball out to Freeman. Watch these routes. Like, we should be picking him. We should be running a vertical to try to stalk block someone. And then Freeman has a chance. He's got no chance. None. This is 3rd and 10. All right? 3rd and 10. And then Freeman has the heart and the confidence. He just tries to run through it. Like, I don't see how you didn't like how Freeman played. Was he as explosive as he was earlier in his career last year? No, clearly not. But this play right here told me all I needed to know about him. Like, he's got faith. Boot camp, Brandon, we were beating the coverage last year when we lined up in the correct formation, which I'll show here in a moment. All right. Oh, yeah, Brian Flores is with the Steelers. That's going to be a huge acquisition for them. We're almost here. We've almost figured it out at this point, guys. Look, this is a 3-by-1. All right? You got trips here. I feel like I'm stealing content because this is like the 3rd time I've covered this. Maybe 4th. We're in trips, and we got one backside. Look at the space that's created. You got an absolute one-on-one here. This guy, number 8, is responsible for the running back. So we've got a one-on-one. We have to take advantage of it. And we might have to line up 2-by-2 and then motion to 3-by-1, meaning let's control who that backside guy is. Sometimes we hit with this, sometimes we didn't. I still don't like the play call. I just don't think we're getting anything out of it. It's a poor play call. But it is man. It is man, Caden. But it's man with them staring at the quarterback. Caden, so you got a good point, Caden. These guys are not looking at their man. They're not looking at their man. They're all 3 looking at Lamar. And because of the pressure, because of how much pressure they're going to get, we got to get rid of the ball quick. I did that again. We got to get rid of the ball quick. So they're looking at Lamar. They're looking at his face mask. Wherever he goes with the ball, wherever he goes first, is where they're all going to react. Look, those guys are not, these 2 are not reacting to routes at all. Now he's reacting to a route. But these 2 are looking at Lamar, and they're breaking now. Like, they're breaking. They're not covering routes. That's why I have a problem with Kurt Warner calling it Blitz 0. Is it cover 0 if everybody runs verticals? Yes. But they're really just reading Lamar. They're just reacting to it. It's not a real cover zero. It's not. So you make a good point in that it's not a real cover zero. There are 4 DBs assigned to the 4 receivers / tight ends, but they're reacting to Lamar. I'm not arguing with you at all. You are right. You're correct. Principle wise, it is a zone if we throw it quick, if we throw it now. If Lamar holds on to this ball, and let's say Marquise Brown runs a wheel, and we run a climb route and we run a drag, then yes, these 3 DBs are going to separate and they're going to be with those routes. So from that standpoint, it is man. But if the ball is thrown immediately, and this one down here is certainly man, okay? It is certainly man. But if the ball is thrown immediately, they're not reacting like man. So you make a great point, and I needed to maybe cover that a little more. And I have covered that in other videos, that they're not playing a true man technique. They're cheating because they're staring at Lamar, and we should be able to exploit it. It's not cover zero. Kurt Warner, I love Kurt Warner. He called it blitz zero and not cover zero. So maybe that's the terminology he's using, but it's not cover zero like straight man. I call it sticks. We called it sticks to say you're not defending a man, you're not defending a zone, you're defending the sticks. You're defending the yard to go. So if it's 1st and 10, you're defending this right here. You're not defending a man or a zone. I would say that it's both. It's neither, and it's both at the same time. I hate the screen. Yeah, I would agree with that, Big Ridge. All right, the way to attack it, because I got to be done here soon. The way to attack it is none of the things that we have done so far. The way to attack it is go 3 by 1. If someone plays you man in basketball and they play you man all game, and you've got a great isolation player, what do? You give the ball to that guy and you tell everybody else, get the heck out of the way. That's what you do. You don't worry about all of this. Let's read this and let's attack it. And that's what they did. Finally, it just took us too damn long to do it. Bateman was tearing them up. I don't care what corner they put over there. Now, some teams use a right and left corner, so you know which corner is going to be. This guy's way wrong. He thinks he sees something. So watch all these guys fly out of here to the side. But look at this. Look, Andrews is running a route here. Look at this face mask. He's looking at Lamar. He doesn't care about Andrews' route. He cares about where Lamar looks because he knows you have to get rid of the ball quick. Okay, that's fine. Let's go 3 by 1 and let's attack on the backside. Let's win enough of those matchups that we can punish you. That's one of the reasons why pre-draft I talked about I wish we got Drake London. He was a guy that I thought could win matchups backside. If I was to play fantasy football for a second with a real football team, I'd say, give me DK Metcalf. I want a guy who's going to win that matchup over there. You can't play this coverage once we show you that we can beat you like this. In my opinion, sorry. I didn't know they were pissed. You can see what's happening here. There's pressure. Lamar gets it out quick. This is another one of those things. This is 4th quarter, guys. This is what pissed me off about the whole Lamar narrative. Like, you got a guy who's been frustrated, who's been hit. Offense has done nothing for 3.5 quarters, and he's still able to deliver this ball quickly, get it out here, give the guy a chance to score a touchdown. In my opinion, Andrews' route should not be bringing that DB over here, because if this DB's not there, this is a touchdown. CBG, what's up, man? I just saw you join. Forgive me for not commenting earlier. What does 3 by 1 do? You got bunch here, you got 3. It pulls this safety from this side of the field over here. So it creates the space that we need. Again, this guy number 8 is responsible for the running back, so he's playing him man. So if you get a flare and a slant, then we're going to attack with the slant. Or we could hit the flare, but it is a man concept, but they're looking at Lamar. That's later on in the game. They're playing a little bit softer out there. Why, though? Why are they playing softer? Because he's already beat them multiple times. He beat them on the slant. He beat them on the speed out earlier. He beat them on the sideline out. that he almost scored on, or they got down to like the 5 on. We've got to go 3-by-1 to attack it. This is not the right way to do it. If you do this, if this is what you do, line up 2-by-2. Now, we don't have Marquise Brown anymore, obviously. If you do this, line up 2-by-2, and they give you this, then what you do is you motion somebody out of there. If this is what they give you, and we like this matchup with Bateman on that corner, then we motion Duvernay out of there. And now we attack back here. If the matchup we like is, this corner versus Andrews, Andrews can't motion because he's on the line of scrimmage. We can step off and step on. But if we like that matchup, then we motion Brown over here, or whoever is replacing Brown, and now this safety's got to go over. And now we've got this one-on-one. That's what you have to do. You can't. So what does that mean? We got to line up earlier. We got to be to the line of scrimmage earlier. We can't be getting there so late that Lamar can't audible, and we can't do all that stuff. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I do not think we had the right plan to attack it. I don't think they were expecting to use this coverage 37 times or 38 times. In my opinion, we did not take what they gave us, which was the space provided if we went trips, particularly if we put Bateman or Andrews backside. We beat them with the one vertical by Watkins. If that ball is caught early in the game, that changes the whole dynamic because now they're scared to play that coverage. Throwing all those screens did not make them scared to play that coverage at all. Throwing all those screens actually emboldened them to continue to play this coverage because they're like, oh, your quarterback, your best player is getting rid of the ball quick, and we've got converging guys, to pursue and make a tackle on a smaller guy who doesn't break tackles anyway. They were like, thank you. In my opinion, Guerra the 5th, yes. In my opinion, he beat it by going 3-by-1. Well, Bateman can beat people one-on-one. He's done that before. Give me 1 second. If you got, looks like I got about 5 more minutes. Now, I don't have this one annotated, to be honest with you. I don't have this one annotated, but you'll see 6 blitz 0 coverage, and generally you'll see it's 3rd down, when we get that coverage. 3-4 teams like the Broncos and the Dolphins are generally going to play a little bit more aggressive than the 4-3 teams. Unless it's 3rd down, then it seems like everybody's going sticks. I think Macari's getting an edge rusher and 30 blitzing through the B gap, and he's not sure what to do, if I remember correct. It's been a couple days since I watched this one, yeah. So he initially is stepping to Von Miller, and then 30 is coming through here. By the way, I'm interested to see what the Bills do with Von Miller. The Bills are a 4-3 team. The Bills are not 3-4. Von Miller's played in a 3-4 structure generally his whole career. Of course, nickel situations, it doesn't matter. All right, so you definitely have a little bit more of a man-type look here, as opposed to the Broncos version of this was different than the Dolphins version. You don't have as many eyes on Lamar. You got eyes that are actually on their man, a legit technique. Lamar's getting flushed out. I think he almost completes this. This drop by Prochet. This to me was the only drop I saw Prochet have last year. One thing I really like about Prochet is he's good at recognizing when Lamar moves out of the pocket and making himself available. I think this might be Simmons here. I'm not high on Simmons, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are. It might not be Simmons. I'm not as high on him as other people are. He loses him. Maybe it's not Simmons. I don't know. But you can see. Watch this as this happens. You telling me Prochet is slow? Well, what's Simmons then? Here's the separation. 2.5 yards, maybe 3. Oh, a little bit more separation. A little bit more. Prochet's leaving him, guys. Is he slow? If he's slow, then what's Simmons? All right. Doesn't look like blitz 0, but it ends up being heavy pressure and just man. And the one thing I don't like is no one adjusting their routes. No one. Now, we hadn't seen this a ton to that point, but this safety walking up should be a little hint for you. I feel like there's sometimes Andrews and these guys aren't fitting this. I'm going to tell you who was really good at adjusting their route was Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins was really good at it. And then the thing to say, and I'm not an anti Keith Williams guy. I think the guy's a great coach. And I'm certainly not anti, Greg Roman or anti T. Martin or Urban, whatever the quarterback coach name is. But Sammy Watkins doesn't come from our system at all. He was the guy who was best at adjusting his routes. That doesn't say good things about us. You know what I mean? That our homegrown guys are not good at adjusting their routes. Now, Watkins on the field here, and no one adjusts their route. So it doesn't speak well of anyone who's on the field. Number 30 comes clean here and gets a hit on a quarterback sack. I think coming up here, you're going to get a couple of three. Okay, so yep, same. So 3-by-1 now. Later in the game, you can kind of tell by the shadows, I think. And they're going to blitz these two outside linebackers off the edge. And look at Watkins. Watkins is trying to break this under. Now we get pressure and no one's available for Lamar to throw the ball. But I think he's a guy who saw it better, who understood. He appears to be looking into me now. Yeah, I mean, Villanueva was bad. Like, I'm not going to spend time, for real talking about it. Like, there's nothing to talk about. Like, wish him luck. Good luck in retirement. I hope he enjoys his life. This is third and 7. Duvernay 1-on-1. Again, 3-by-1. You have to do it, and you have to have somebody who can win back there. This is Surtain. So if you want to say Duvernay's not that guy, well, he just beat Surtain. I mean, I don't really even need to say anything. He just did it. Is he going to beat every corner? I don't know, but Bateman can beat him. Watkins and Duvernay tore up Surtain. So however good you think Surtain is, we've got guys who beat him. So there you go. Nothing to see there. 3-by-1 again, first down. And this is the design play to start the fourth quarter. I'm getting ready to have to cut this off, guys. I got to go. Hey, if you've thought about supporting the channel by subscribing, I would, be pleased if you do so. I got a huge number of subscribers I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to 10,000 before the end of football season. I'm way short of that, at 3,200 or something. Or another way to support the channel is to join the membership. It's like $2 a week, $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month. This is a great play for these teams that are looking in the backfield. That's Simmons. He's always looking in the backfield. Fuller appears to notice something because I think he communicates something to these guys or tries to. And then this safety, I think it's Jackson. He's looking in the backfield. They all fly up. Great play, making it look like quarterback sweep, or something. And then Andrew's just running right by him. No awareness at all from these two safeties. Really bad. I don't know why people are as big a fan of what's his name, Fangio stuff. I'm just not. All right, another way to attack it: go 3-by-1, like I said, and then motion across. Now what are they going to do? Because if it's truly man, and we get any kind of vertical here, well then who covers this? Sometimes the outside linebacker will go with him. Sometimes the safety will go with him. In this case, it's a wheel sit. So Duvernay's making it look like a wheel. He's making it look like he's going upfield, but it's not. He's going to bring it back to the sideline. That wheel, that potential vertical, threatens this guy enough. You see him start veering upfield because he thinks it's a wheel. Duvernay sits it down. Great throw, great play. What? I can only imagine what Marlon Humphrey and Ronnie Stanley's podcast is like. I would like to watch it, but I feel like it's one of them things. If I watched it, I would watch it. I'd be wasting a lot of time. You can tell that there's a blitz coming. I mean, look at all these guys lined up here. Watkins is going to bring his route underneath. He's good at adjusting his route. I think he's better. He was better than our other guys at doing so. Maybe we didn't have those things built into the system. If you want to blame Greg Roman for that, you got to blame the entire offensive staff. Urban, Williams, Martin, Harbaugh. You got to blame all of them. Watkins was the best guy at adjusting his route, and he's the guy who spent the least amount of time in our system. So that doesn't speak well for what we're installing. We have to have addressed the hot routes in the offseason. I would hope that we did, that we are. You guys let me know. I don't see how you can watch our film from last year and not adjust it. Having said that, there's got to be an element that was our offensive line. You can't tell me that teams are going to blitz like this when we have a better offensive line on the field. I mean, we had a bottom 6 or 8 offensive line in the league last year, no doubt. And I don't think we understood how bad it was until later on in the year. Like, Ben Cleveland's kind of stiff, but when we put him in there at left guard, we looked a lot better, to be honest with you. I thought he was really poor. My conception was that he was bad in pass pro, but then once he played them last 4 weeks of the season, I was like, he's not as bad in pass pro as I thought. But he's not as good in run blocking as I thought either. Well, if you guys appreciate the video, I appreciate you throwing a like onto the video. It's only got 35 likes right now, and there's 94 of y'all in here. So, oh, they stopped. I didn't know they stopped on the podcast. I did not know that. CBG, man, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining the channel. It really helps. Well, I think we'll be better with some of these things next year. Hopefully we're not doing this video during the season. Hopefully we're not doing this during the season and showing teams being very simplistic. I've laid out 3 principles for you guys in terms of coverages and when people were doing things and why they were doing them, because of our poor offensive line, because of how dangerous Lamar is throwing the football and scrambling and making big plays. That's the reason why they were bringing all this heavy pressure, was to limit the amount of time that he has the ball in his hands. Try to get the ball out quick, force other people to be a playmaker. Now, if you have a complaint that we didn't go out and acquire enough playmakers for him, you kind of do have a point. You kind of do. I think Kohler and Likely will be a help, but I don't think any of them, is going to come in and be a 50-catch guy. I don't really care who has the catches. I just care that we get a lot of them and we get a lot of touchdowns. I appreciate you guys' time, man. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. I have a video coming out on Lamar here in about an hour. That's going to be 5 throws from week 1 in 2021 against the Raiders. Thank you guys for checking out the stream this Saturday morning. We'll do another one next week.